Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, and notifications button for all the good stuff we've got coming.
Well, my affiliation with the rep is that I have always adored Barbara and Dee and been pretty fond of Bruce and served on the Actors Equity liaison for years. So I actually knew Barbara and Boz through the committee before I performed at the rep. And the first show I did, actually the one and only show I did at the rep, was directed by Barbara. And it was opposite Harry Wetzel. Barbara was also in it. And
Newton.
Jesse Newton, beautiful, gentle giant. The show was disability comedy and extraordinary show about a young man, a brilliant young man, played by Harry, which is appropriate. And he's a quadriplegic. And a young woman who is a paraplegic comes to interview him. The amazing thing is the whole thing is choreographed and scored to Vivaldi's Four Seasons. So it becomes a bit of a pas de deux with the two in the two wheelchairs. And then, spoiler alert, portion of the way through, the young man sets up the journalist and makes her think that he's choking to death. So she leaps out of her chair to save him. And of course, she is not disabled in any way, shape, or form. And as what rep audiences are wont to do, they became part of the action. First couple nights just about stopped my heart, but after that, it was actually quite appropriate for this reveal moment to have such a strong, powerful reaction from the audience. And once that settled down, we really had some road to travel then. So it was a beautiful play that we might want to think about remounting at some point with some other actors, in that it serves us all by way of looking at what they were calling disability and human rights and journalism and truth and love ultimately. So beautiful story, beautiful experience. And I love Harry Wetzel and I love Barbara, and Jesse was a beautiful, warm, caring man. It was a really, really fine experience. And we were recognized with awards from the Detroit Free Press. And I remember it very, very fondly. And that's my story. And I'm sticking to it.
Well, my story goes back in time even further because
you're older.
Because I'm much older.
By a lot.
But 49 years ago, at this time, right at this time, I was doing the play The Hairy Ape, which also had Jesse Newton in it in the title role. And I was just brand new to Detroit, just had moved here from West Philly. And my acting teacher, Wallace Smith, said, if you're serious, go to the rep and audition. And I did, and so I got in that show. So the January of 1972, and there were a bunch of young bucks in the ship, and that's I was I think I had one line or two lines. Yup, it's drugged Froggy, and that was my first experience, my first professional experience in Detroit, and it felt like I had come home. So next January, if we do this again, 50 years.
Wow.
2022.
He's a lot older than I am.
And in the meantime, done many things theatrically, but have come back to the Rep to serve on the board of trustees. I'm proud to say I'm part of the Saturday Actors Workshop and one of the faculty members there. And it's really just it's a blessing to be part of something so important. And as someone rather famous recently said, find your tribe and do everything you can to help. And I would say that the Detroit Repertory Theater is my tribe. Well, I have one recollection that when I was just 17 or 18 and I was starting back then in the early 70s, I remember after the show, the second show I did in January of 73 was called Amadei, or How to Get Rid of It. It was by Eugene Ionesco, and Barbara was the star. And I played the little persnickety French postman. And after each night, after the show, I would hang at the bar and talk to Bruce, and I kept saying to him, do the 3-penny opera. Please, please do the 3-penny opera. And he finally put it in a season. I auditioned for it, and then I didn't get in. And I remember saying to Bruce, but Bruce, how come? I wanted to do this so bad. And he just looked at me and said, director's prerogative. And I have to tell you that it was a wake-up call as a theater artist to really think about the role of the actor compared to the director. And I think that really set me on the path of being a director myself and opening the Actors Alliance Theater Company 10 years later.
You know, playing opposite Harry Wetzel, especially in a play where it was primarily the two of us on stage the whole time, quite extraordinary. Always very present in the moment, and was always very new and unexpected, which is a beautiful thing, especially when you go up on your lines. Completely up on my lines, gone. No idea even what play I was in. It was blank. But with Harry, in the moment, we kept this passionate gaze. I lifted an eyebrow. He moved his head. And to me, it was 24 hours, this moment. And obviously, it was probably about 90, 30, 50 seconds. I don't know. But that moment later became kind of an ongoing moment of applaud for us, because people felt that was such an extraordinary theatrical moment. And what was that based on? And Barbara, how did that come to be, when in fact it was truly being in the moment and going with what was, and working opposite one of the most extraordinary actors I've ever had the pleasure of being with. And that is Mr. Harry Wetzel.